So thank you for joining me for class this morning, because it gives me a chance to maintain the regularity of my schedule when kitten-induced insomnia or lack of sleep could interrupt the schedule. But it also gave me a chance knowing I was going to come see you, I could really practice the teachings that I'm suggesting for all of us. I could practice it really directly in my own body. So let's take a comfortable seat, please. And you can do whatever you like except for chewing on cables. Well, or other things. Explore as you will. This is not the kitty that woke us up in the middle of the night. It was her sister, Bindi. Okay, so please come into your comfortable seat. Our theme this week in the yamas is Daya, which means mercy or compassion. So you can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And perhaps you have just awakened. You were not awake since 3. So let yourself feel into arriving in your body with consciousness and intention. Allow your breathing to go a little deeper, so down into your pelvis, into this pelvic basin. As the breath gets deeper and smoother, lengthen your spine. Lift your heart gently in the center of your chest. And consider a couple of the building blocks of the word compassion, or the expression of compassion or mercy. One of those building blocks is empathy, the ability to feel and resonate with the experience of another. Another building block is acceptance, so accepting reality as it is showing up, including the pain that we might feel on behalf of someone else, or might feel the pain that they're feeling. Compassion is an innately patient quality. Patience in the sense of allowing whatever's occurring, whatever wants to move from pain to resolution, allowing it to have its natural course without us trying to sort of convert it or coerce it. Compassion also has a building block of discernment, knowing what we're offering compassion towards and from where in ourselves. So we are not likely to collude or gossip or succumb to sort of a short-term fix that actually causes ourselves or others to repeat patterns. So some of these qualities are the building blocks of the overall sense of Daya or compassion. So let's raise the hands to the heart, please. And we'll chant Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. A reminder that basically what we're saying is come to the practice and we hope to connect with our inner teacher. That inner teacher, which is wise and conscious and loving. That inner teacher, which is able to help dispel the habits and the patterns of our darkness or forgetfulness or angst. And it brings us back to a luminosity that already exists within us. Let's begin. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. You may bow your head to your heart if you like. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. So one of the ways that I'd like to work on compassion to continue the practice of causing a purposeful compression and then a purposeful decompression of our circulation from the 4 quadrants of the body. So that what you're doing is kind of asking your heart and your lymph and circulatory system to give you this overall cleanse or this sort of like yoga bath. And what I find occurs is we do come back to this indwelling, restful state, a place of that luminosity. Niralambaya Tejase. And partly we come back to that because we're shifting from, let's say, a sympathetic or dorsal vagal nervous system back to ventral vagal. But we also shift because we're cleansing out some residual hormones that might be like lying around in the trenches and they got stagnated there, and we're asking that to be released. We're also tuning in to a subtle intelligence in the body and reminding ourselves that being extremely keen or intelligent or trying to be intellectual about things like compassion may not be what was intended, since this is a native intrinsic quality of the heart. Can we feel back into what is natural, what is already here in our homes, in the home of the heart? Those are called the divine abodes, by the way. And we had a series on those called the Brahma Viharas this past fall. So I'd like you to put aside your blankets for the time being. You will need a chair for today's class. We're going to work a bit in a standing sequence using the chair, but not for our starting. Please have your yoga strap close by. Take one block on the medium setting like this, and the other block on the tall setting like this. Okay, and when you have that set, what we're going to be looking for is the opening of the upper back and shoulder girdle. So if you'll sit in front of the block as we've been doing the last couple days, lie back, and then place your head on the second block. Now, if you've just come from sleep or being sedentary, it might feel like a pretty big back bend for the upper back, in which case you could elevate your hips on a folded blanket, and that'll make the size of the block under your spine feel a little bit less tall. If you are able to start here, please go ahead and do so. And reach for your yoga strap. Let's make the loop in the strap so it's shoulder width for the hands. Like this. Raise your arms overhead. The palms face each other, please. Stretch one leg out straight. Stretch the other leg out straight. And as you reach in both directions, that is towards your heels and towards your fingertips, let the breath become smoother and deeper, more loving. One of the building blocks of compassion is our ability to practice accepting what is. Accepting a sensation, accepting a limitation, accepting a painful moment or a joyful moment. So when you're breathing and stretching in this pose, let's consider the nature of accepting what is while encouraging healing at the same time. So we are accepting what is. We are also open to healing whatever difficulty we're facing. While keeping your hands pressing out against the strap, please raise your arms up towards the ceiling. Put the strap aside. Take the tall block and make it a medium block. Clasp your hands behind your head so your knuckles are going to rest on that block. Now lengthen the heels of the hands toward the base of the skull and your elbows towards the wall behind you. Raise your head, put the block aside with one hand. Keep moving the heels of your hands towards the base of the skull and your elbows now towards the back wall as you curl over the block backwards. It is possible that your head will not reach the floor. It's possible that it might. While holding your head now with your right hand, lengthen your, with your left hand, lengthen your right arm overhead towards the wall behind you. And then hold your head with your right hand and take the left arm overhead towards the wall behind you. Keep reaching through the right elbow towards the back wall as well. And then both hands on your head, and you're going to curl up, look forward, raise your arms, rise up to sitting. Let's take the block and make it tall. This is a tall block, and the width of the block, the standard yoga block, that is this width here, actually fits between the shoulder blades. So when you lie back, make the block stable. And if you have a squishy block, it's very hard to make it stable. So please be thoughtful if you have a squishy block. When you lie back now, again, place your hands at the base of your skull and stretch the elbows towards the back of the space that you're practicing in. Now hold your head with your left hand. Reach the right arm straight overhead. Keep the left elbow elongated as well. And then bend your right elbow and place your hand so that the back of your hand is against the block where your upper back is. Reach over with your left arm to hold your right elbow. And lengthen the right side of the waist, open the right hemisphere of the body. You could imagine the right lung receiving a more full inhale. You are temporarily compressing the right shoulder joint. There is less circulation going down your right arm at the moment. You've also closed the elbow joint. Breathing in. And then exhale and curl up. Reach forward, rise up to Dandasana. Take the arms out to the side. And notice even the subtle circulation going down your right arm. and then reach back. This time we're going to hold the head with the right hand. Take your left arm overhead. Lengthen your right elbow towards the wall behind you. Hold your head purposely in a nice arc in line with your heart, your throat, and your neck. And then bend the left elbow, and you're going to take the back of the left hand against the block where your head is. So your palm faces out. Reach over with your right hand to hold your left elbow. And as you're gliding the left elbow towards the wall behind you, you are closing the shoulder joint and the elbow joint, even though it's temporary. Breathing in and breathing out. Listen for the expansion of the left hemisphere of the torso, and also picture you're giving the lungs a chance to really receive the inhale and to really fully exhale. And then with your next exhale, lift your head and your arms, look forward, raise yourself forward and come to Dandasana, and notice even the subtle recirculation down the left arm. And then please bend your knees and come over to table pose. I'm going to ask you to stack the two blocks one on top of the other. I shouldn't say table pose actually, because it's going to be a variation on that. But once you stack them, let me show you what we're going to be doing. And a reminder from Saturday's class, when you take your arm overhead like this, your shoulder blade, in this case, the right shoulder blade, is rotating this way. So the upper inner corner of the shoulder blade is going a little bit down when you take your arm overhead. And if you bend the elbow and you can place your thumb against that spot, you will feel that there's like a little hook that you can put the thumb into. You could hold the upper trapezius, but there's also another place that you're resting your thumb into. And I'd like you to have a sense of that for what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to place my left so that you can see it. I'll do my left side. So you're going to place the left elbow on the center of the blocks. And then the left thumb goes in that spot where the shoulder blade is. You want your head to be free, not to be on the blocks. And you're going to turn your head slightly to your right. So your head may come down a little bit lower than your upper arm. And you may feel the muscle called levator scapula. You might also feel the upper trapezius, of course. If for any reason you'd like to stabilize your left elbow with your right hand, you're welcome to do that too. One thing you might do is reach up and support the right forearm, not to push to the, support the left forearm, not to push to the right. In other words, roll your left forearm to the left. You can use your right hand for that. You're going to place the right hand back on the floor, release your head, and when you come to kneeling in Vajrasana, you can feel this really cool circulation going down the arm. You are also releasing this musculoskeletal super highway, the levator scapula, the upper trapezius, the scalenes. Okay, let's take the right elbow to the block. And you want to be on the blocks where it's stable, but you can also release your head and it's not running into the blocks. Go ahead and put your right thumb in the upper corner there of the shoulder blade. And you may choose to reach up with your left hand to stabilize your right forearm. You might feel like singing or smiling or laughing. Maybe the sensations are very strong. You might feel like whimpering or tearing up. Okay, and with your inhalation then, press your left hand down against the floor for stability, release the right arm and come to Vajrasana, and just notice if maybe you're clearing the windshield of the mind or the side view mirrors or the rear view mirror too. So that process right there is something that we're gonna do it one more time using the chair now, because we're gonna come into some things, trying to answer a couple of questions from yesterday, and also to build this compression decompression process. So please get your chair. I would like you to pad your chair with a blanket. Take the blanket to the feet of the chair and the front edge where it's going to be padded enough that it won't feel painful. I hope it's not painful to you. Okay. Now, again, I'll do my left side first so you can see that one. And it's essentially the same thing, but look that now this height is higher than what you were just at. So in the last one, your hips were probably a little higher than your elbow. Now the elbow and the hips are going to be about the same height. So you place your left forearm on the chair. Take the thumb to that upper inner corner there. Relax the weight of the head. You can put the right hand on the floor for support. Now start turning your head to your right. And then rotate your head back to center. Keep your left thumb there against the shoulder blade and turn your head to the right. And then rotate it back to center. And do that one more time. Turn your head to the right. Back to center. Okay, and then release. And again, notice the circulation running down your left arm. It might be subtle, but you could feel it all the way into the center of your palm. Now take the right elbow, place it on the chair. Reach back, you can hook your thumb to the upper inner corner of the shoulder blade there. Relax the weight of your head and make an effort to turn your head to your left. And then back to center. And turn to your left. Back to center. And once more, turn to your left. Back to center. Okay, and then release. And once more, come into Vajrasana and notice the circulation. And let's picture, as I've been saying the last few days, that circulation, what you're sending out to your body, is this intrinsic quality of mercy or compassion for all the things your body goes through on your behalf, both self-imposed and, happening life. Now I'd like you to take a block for one more thing here with the chair seat. We're going to put the heels of the hands on the edges of the block so that you know that your wrists cannot be closer than the width of the block. And then place the elbows. And as you reach back, your forehead might gently touch the front edge of the chair. As you hold the block with the heels of your hands, that should make the block secure where you don't have the wrists coming in closer than the edges of the blocks. You also have the option of turning your palms to face your head. Put your hands in the middle of the block and turn so that the pinky fingers are being bookended on the block. So the sides of the hands, the sides of the pinky knuckles, the sides of the pinky fingers. And then raise your chest and heart. Please walk the knees forward. And as you release, let the arms dangle. So if possible, the hands don't touch the floor. Picture that circulation is both transmitting from the heart out to the periphery, the sense of compassion. And the circulation is also a cleansing response. These sort of circulatory superpowers go and they pick up the debris and they're going to bring it back to the elimination departments. Please set your block aside and take your blanket to the upper back of the chair. Take a seat. So one more thing with the chair for the upper body right now. Okay, so where you're sitting, the height of the upper back of your chair and your height and your shoulder flexibility, that all has to be calibrated. An option is to interlace the fingers. And as you clasp the hands, then put your wrists over the upper back of the chair. This is also that kitchen sink exercise that I talked about yesterday. A couple of other options. One is to use a yoga strap instead of clasping the hands. You would put your wrists inside the strap. Another is to sit up on a couple of blankets so the upper back of your chair doesn't feel so tall. It gives your shoulders more range of motion that way. Another option is to use the kitchen sink instead of the chair. Of course, I was speaking yesterday to Anna, who asked the question, and she and I are not that tall, so the height of the kitchen sink for us is different than it is for someone who's taller. But in any case, this is to raise the shoulders up and back. You may be feeling the skin of the body or even the nerves running down the arms. You might feel some temperature changes through your arms. And practice embracing it all, the acceptance, the patience. And now release your arms and let them dangle down, not touching the chair or your lap. And then please rise up to standing. Now the blanket would end up being slippery on the chair for the moment, so let's fold it and store it. I'm going to move mine to the other side of my mat. So what we're going to be practicing now through Surya Namaskar is looking at when we compress the hips. We do that on purpose in some positions. You're going to see that in a variation on Anjaneyasana. When we compress and then release the compression again, that circulation flows once more, and it's intended to be cleansing. So step up to face your chair. Bring your hands to your heart. I know that for lots of you, the chair might not seem necessary, and if you don't have one, of course, it's totally fine. And it may feel like it's going to inhibit some part of your sun salutation, but I'm purposely suggesting it for another aspect of the sun salutation. Let's inhale the hands down, wide and up. And then exhale, simply come forward, arms wide, touch the seat of the chair so that your index fingers and thumbs are there, and step backwards to a chair dog like this. With your next inhale, come forward to plank pose using the chair. So roll the spine to come through to plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. And then exhale and lower the tops of the feet, the shins, your knees, and coming to your fingertips, roll the shoulders back, lift up. Exhale to upright, place your palms firmly. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. A deep breath in. And then exhale, step your right foot forward and bring the left knee down without running into your chair. Press against the chair seat, raise your chest and your heart and open your throat. If you have your balance, also raise your arms. You take the back of the head with your right hand, reach through your right elbow and your left arm. And then lengthen the right arm, and as you exhale, curl the belly in, touch the seat of the chair. Inhale, straighten the left leg. And exhale to plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Now the left knee can't go past the heel or the chair, so when you're rising up, you may feel the right hip flexors. Raise up through the heart. And then if you have your balance, also raise your arms. Hold the back of your head with your left hand. And let the weight of the head influence your hand. Your hand gives support. Reach through the left elbow. And then exhale, curl up and over, touch the seat of the chair. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, roll forward like a cat pose, spine, come to plank. And then inhale, lightly touch the tops of your feet down, touch your shins down, place your fingertips on the edge of the chair, roll the shoulders back like doing cobra. Raise the right arm up and hold the back of your head with the right hand. If you have your balance, also raise the left arm up. Reach up with the heart, root down with your shins. And then exhale, use the belly, bring your fingertips back to the chair. And inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll the spine through cat. The plank, and then lower the knees and shins down. Use your fingertips on the chair seat. Raise up, roll the shoulders back. Hold your head with your left hand. Raise the right arm up. Lift up with your heart. Press down with your shins. And then exhale, use the lower belly. Touch the chair and inhale to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy several breath cycles here. Hold the sides of the chair so you can turn your triceps in towards your nose and widen your shoulders and your shoulder blades on your upper back. So you next inhale, roll forward to plank pose using your cat pose spine to do that. And then step your feet up to the front edge of the chair. And inhale, rise up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. Now, while keeping your balance, place your right foot up on the edge of the chair, so it's on the right side of the chair, and come down with your hands to the inner edge of the right foot. So we've been practicing snuggling the right hand behind and then the right shoulder under. Right now, if you have your right foot to the side of the chair and your left foot so that your feet are as wide as the chair, you're going to feel a little bit more balanced. So check that you don't have the right foot in the center of the chair. The hands go on the inside. Release the weight of the head. So this is like cat pose or child's pose for the spine. And then you can practice snuggling your right hand behind your right ankle and your shoulder behind your right knee. Some of you will find that as you snuggle, you have the flexibility and the body design to wrap the right arm under and around. I don't have that body design right now. Now I have two metal hips, so grateful for my surgeons. And then let's place the hands both back on the chair seat, rise up to standing. Now where you are, you're going to sense when you put the right foot down, circulation goes from the heart back down to your foot. Now place the left foot up on the side of the chair, so to the left edge, and come down with your fingertips or your palms, or it's even okay to put blocks on the chair seat if you need to. So the torso comes along the inside edge of the left thigh. And some of you are going to enjoy taking the back of your left hand, the back of your left ankle with your left hand, and you can snuggle your shoulder under your knee. So keep breathing in, breathing out, and noticing where can you apply acceptance and patience. Where can you offer consideration or even appreciation to your body? For all the things that your body has been through or helped you with, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally. Okay, and then if you snuggled the arm under, you're going to unsnuggle it and rise up to standing and place your left foot on the floor next to your right so that you can feel the circulation going down the left leg. And let's just pause to really notice that and appreciate it. Now I'd like you to take your chair and place it closer to a wall spot. So you're going to have some support. And if your chair is on wheels, I don't recommend that. But if you don't have a proper wall spot, maybe you're practicing in your office and all you have is your desk. Well, the height of the desk might be the right height for your foot for what we're going to do here. So if you place padding on the upper back of the chair. That's for the back of your ankle. You don't want that to be painful. Okay, so you've got the wall to your left, take your right foot up over the upper back of the chair like this. And then raise up. And let's exhale and come down. You could place the left hand on the upper back of the chair and maybe the right hand on the seat of the chair. So this does close the right hip joint. For some of us, our hamstrings allow that closure to be a little more than others. For some of us, there's going to be a susceptibility to the knee hyperextending on either leg. So please check that for yourself, that you're not standing with your joints hyperextended. For those for whom the hamstring is not limber and your right knee is bent right now, it's okay. You hold for stability where you can be, and think of the integrity of your body, not replication of my hamstrings or somebody else's. Walk the hands back up to the upper back of the chair and then rise up to standing. And the reason that we're near to the wall is for this. Cross the back of the left hand around the outside of your right thigh. And rotate to your right. Lift up with your heart. This would be a little bit like purvottanasana. It's also a one-leg version, so we could call it Uttita Parita Suptapadangustasana. And then raise your right arm up and arc over to touch the wall with your right fingertips. You can start rotating your head to the right. You might even rest your head against the wall. And you can arc, a little bit of a side bend, a little bit of a rotation, a little bit of a forward bend. Keep rotating so the back of the left hand is around the outside of your shin. And as you're twisting to the right, you can keep track of where you are with either your right fingertips on the wall or the back of your head. And then let's come back up. Release the right arm down and step your right foot down. And notice where your circulation moves. You might feel like there's some zigzag rivers happening in the body right now. Can you bring out the quality of patience, acceptance, even confidence is one of the building blocks of compassion. We're confident that healing is possible with compassion. Now I would like you to have the wall behind you, so I'm going to turn my chair around to the other side. And let's place the left foot up over the upper back of the chair. So the height of the chair also, if you're shorter like I am, the chair is a little bit higher than your hip for some of us. For others, it's going to be a little bit lower. And let's raise the arms up. And then exhale and we'll come forward. So the right hand might hold the upper back of the chair. The left hand could come to the chair seat. Possible, of course, for lots of us that you're not going to bend as far forward as my body does. And so again, you're modifying based on your own needs, and be aware also of any hyperextension in your joints, in your knee joints. And let's raise up so that you can hold the upper back of the chair or come up and then you have the reference of the wall nearby. Okay, take the back of your right hand to the outside of your left leg and rotate to your left. So focus on keeping the pelvis stable. So when you're twisting across the lower abdomen, you're not also bringing the right hip with you. So keep the right leg strong. The right butt is toned. And then raise the left arm up. And keeping the hips level, make a little side bend to the wall. So your left fingertips can find the wall, maybe the head will rest back against the wall. That's why we're so close to the wall. Keep bringing the right arm down so the twist is including the right shoulder to come down and across. And then you can add a little side bend. Maybe the right arm is gonna go a little bit deeper down over the left shin. You decide. Little twist to the left, little side bend to the right, a little bit of a forward bend. And then let's unwind, bring yourself back up. And step down. Notice the circulation. Hopefully, if it feels a little bit curvy, it's actually balancing out left to right. Please take the seat on your chair. Like padding on the chair if you want, it's not necessary. Take a seat on the chair with your feet wide. The knees can point out to the sides and come down. Reach back and hold the toes of the chair. So this does, again, compress the hip joints, and you're also bringing the spine into flexion. Press the knees out so that your body weight, you have the outer heels and pinky toes grounded just like the big toes and the inner heels. And keeping that sense of support and stability in the legs, if you'd like, you can reach back to clasp the hands and roll the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Your shoulders up away from your neck so the neck feels long here. And then with an inhale, start bringing the heart forward. And as you rise up, it's possible that you're going to be able to loop your wrists over the upper back of the chair. Bring the feet in to hip distance. I know the chair is metal. We're not going to be here for long. Open the heart and the throat. And then let's release and let the arms and hands again dangle down. Great. I'm going to put the chair aside. You can also do the same. So yesterday we had a pose that there was a question about. We're going to take a look at that question now to see if possibly in the course of the sequence that we just had, maybe your capacity gets a little bit better for the pose. So let me make a couple of recommendations. One is that I said yesterday, some of you will benefit from a booster seat. Could be a blanket, could be a block. It's going to be up to you. Some of you did it fine yesterday sitting flat on the floor, and that is an okay option as well. So take a seat with the knees bent. Reach back with both hands. Turn your fingers to point towards your hips. Press down through the index fingers and thumbs. Rotate the shoulders open. Lift your heart. Now, if what's happening is that this is painful for your hands or your wrists, make a tiny modification of turning the hands very slightly out. Don't go too far. I want you to find the place where you've made the amount of modification that you need. And then you pause there. Okay, and then raise your hips up to reverse table pose. And think again of the building blocks of the word compassion. So we have acceptance. These are our sensations. We have appreciation and patience. The body is working through something. We also have discernment. If the sensations are not therapeutic, we don't have to push into them. And then we have this quality of confidence in the body's ability to heal and confidence in compassion as a healing force. Bring the hips back down, raise your chest and heart up, reach forward. Bend the right knee in and take the left leg out. Wrap your left hand around and twist to your right. The compassion begins with the building block of empathy, which is something that we're hardwired to come into the world seeking and helping to co-create, is empathy. And so here we are. Let's rotate around to face forward. Bend the left knee, take the right leg out, wrap your right hand around, take the left hand behind you. And notice with the breath how you can extend these qualities or these building blocks of compassion into the body. Patience, appreciation, respect, confidence in the healing power of the body, the healing power of compassion. Now come around to face forward and we'll take a look at the pose that had the question mark yesterday. Okay, take the left arm forward, palm face up, right hand behind, the palm faces backwards. Roll your shoulder open. So here it's really important, the shoulder rotation, so that you already feel the right shoulder blade is supporting the heart. And then raise the hips. You can have the left arm reach past and you can look towards your left fingers, or you can rotate your head down. Roll the right shoulder back. And as we come down, I do recommend that you look down and the left arm crosses your face. Keep the right arm stable, shoulder back, and touch your hips back to the blanket if you're using one. And then use your abdominals to come up from there. Notice the circulation going down the right arm. And then take the left hand behind. Roll the left shoulder open, so give a special amount of attention there. Raise your right arm and your hips. Use the left shoulder blade, and you may look towards your right hand. Or you may gaze down towards the floor. You might choose to hold your head with your hand. And bring your right arm across your face. Roll the left shoulder back as you're gazing down. Touch your hips back down. And use your abdominals to come forward, noticing the circulation of the left arm. And then scoot your booster seat out and trade it out. Your booster seat is also your covering. Okay, so let's roll back now. Take the arms out in a T shape. And notice the circulation going from your heart down each arm after that's called ekahasta, one-handed purvottanasana, one hand reverse table pose. Let's bring the hands for Savasana. One hand can be on the lower belly, one hand on the solar plexus, or one hand on the heart, the other one on the low belly, or whatever you prefer. But just a sense that you're respecting, nourishing, considering your body. And in the spirit of compassion, you can say to yourself for this Shavasana, may I be at ease. May I be at ease. And you could say to yourself on your own behalf, may I have support. May I be supported. May I be supported. And you could say on your own behalf, may I heal the pain that is mine to heal. May I heal the pain that is mine to heal. And may I support others to heal the pain that is theirs to heal. And that might be direct support or indirect support. So you can say to yourself, may I be at ease. May I be supported. May I heal the pain that is mine to heal. May I help others to heal the pain that is theirs to heal. Observe your body moving through the process, coming back to its inner whole self. Confidence, patience, appreciation. Feeling the quality inside that your body comes back to. Please roll your head gently side to side. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, bend your knees, roll to your side. And make your way to return to sitting, please. Seat. Make it one you can be comfortable in for a few minutes of stillness and meditation. The key components to compassion is that we can see ourselves in others, and we allow them to see themselves in us as well. That's where the empathy gets sparked. We see ourselves in others, we feel seen by them, we allow them to see into us as well. Stay with the sitting for a few moments more. Allow that inner sense that you welcome others to see you. You long to also see them. At rest in the inner stillness of compassion, knowing that you're giving your brain an opportunity right now to even remember it more deeply in the heart. The moment that the mind wanders away, bring it back. Patience, discernment, appreciation, acceptance, a willingness to see and to be seen. Raise your hands to your heart. But naturally, in the heart of compassion, we have a longing to alleviate the suffering of others. We also, when we're in distress, we would have a longing for our suffering to be alleviated by others, not only by our own keenness or smarts, but to have there be reciprocity. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May everyone in all the worlds, everyone everywhere, and all beings and species, may they be free from unnecessary harm. May they experience ease. May they experience joy and harmony. May we too be included in that. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Hey, Mama Kitty. You came to see us? Yeah, you can see the students right there.